Welcome to my interview. Here we are with Rob from Zimbabwe. So tell me, first of all, what do you do for a job?
Well, I'm a poet. I work with the Zimbabwe Poets for Human Rights.
I see.
And the Zimbabwe Poets for Human Rights is a movement of young spoken word artists in Zimbabwe who try through the spoken word to expose the factors that lie at the basis of the human rights violations in Zimbabwe across board.
Okay, so it's got a political undertone to it, yeah?
Yeah, development work in democracy and human rights is generally viewed political, and actually everything is political.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So could you maybe give me an example of a verse from one of your...
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh, I want to give you a verse from my poetry.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you a verse, and this is actually a verse from a poem that I call I'll Miss You.
Okay.
Yeah. I, my brother, shall surely miss you. I can't believe it all to be true. You, my brother, shall surely miss me. Our garden dog, kitten, and coconut tree. You shall surely miss the system that denies reality as it appears to be. A system so pure in its own eyes. A system whose teeth are like swords. A system whose fangs are like knives. A system that manufactures evil systems to strengthen its already corrupt system. How then shall I survive in such a ruthless system, tailor-made to suffer the people's social system? I, my brother, shall surely miss you. I can't believe it ought to be true. You, my brother, shall surely miss me. Our guardian dog, kitten, and coconut tree. Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. Something I've definitely not heard before. Do you always do it in English, or do you have another language?
I do my poetry in English and Shona. Shona is the most popular language in Zimbabwe. So I do my Shona poetry so that I get a lot of audience. Like sometimes we do our poetry events in the street, and the people who are walking in the streets, they understand better Shona than English.
I see. And so tell me how you were here, and how did you hear about the conference?
Okay, about the conference, I heard it from the Solanit Forum. Yeah, I was introduced to the Solanit Forum by a friend called Taku Mafika. So since last year, I've been part of the forum, and I applied for the conference, and I was invited, amazingly. And it's amazing. The conference is going fine, and I'm enjoying it.
Sure. So you mentioned the cultural centre in which you work. Is it generally just with young people, or do you help people with all ages?
Yeah, where I work, what we do is like we have different projects that we run. And the projects, these are poetry projects that we try to bring the message to the people through different activities. We have what we call the poetry forums, where we perform our poetry. Then after the performance of the poetry, we have some discussions based on the content of the poetry. Then we've got what we call the street programs. The street programs are those events where we take to the people, we take our speakers, our microphones, then boom, we start to do our poetry in the streets. Then we also have what we call poetry on canvas. Poetry on canvas is when we have painters who come to paint the mood of the poetry. When the poets are performing their poetry, the painters will be painting the mood of the poetry on canvas.
Really?
So we have the exhibitions of the paintings even later, that these paintings were painted by this painter, and the poet Shoeslambada was performing, and this was the mood of the poetry. Then people discuss about these issues.
And are these centres common, or is yours the only one?
Oh, it's kind of like in Zimbabwe, the poetry culture is growing. We have actually some other poetry movements coming up, and it's kind of like mobile. Like we have got poetry at the book cafe, we've got poetry at the Alliance Française, we've got poetry. Even at the Zimbabwe German Society, it's a place actually where Zimbabweans and Germans they meet. We can go there and have some German language lessons. So poetry is actually kind of like sporadic.
I see. And so, as we all know, there are a lot of political issues in Zimbabwe at the moment. So, how is that at the moment?
Yeah, I would say that the issues, they are not as many as they used to be. Yeah, the situation in Zimbabwe, as I can say right now, there is some kind of economic stabilization. People can get food from the shops, which they couldn't get. People can buy. We are using a multi-currency system. And, well, we are on the recovery path, though each and every government has got its hardships and its challenges. Like now we've got the inclusive government, and definitely it's a arrangement. So definitely some other things work well, some don't, but we are in the right way.
I see. And then also tell me something about Zimbabwe as a whole, something that I would not normally know.
Yeah, Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. We have got Victoria Falls. I think many people know Victoria Falls, which is one of the world, with falls that are like more than 93 meters. Yeah, we've got a stone museum, you know, with the Great Zimbabwe, where we've got buildings that are built with stone without mortar, and it's an ancient building, and it has not fell since it was built.
Really?
Yeah. It's,
how long ago?
According to history, before colonization, that is before 1890, before Zimbabwe was colonized. Yeah, the kind of cities that were built using stone without mortar by them, those people. Yeah, the ancient Shona people that are called the Roji.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. When you come to Zim, I'll take you there.
Yeah, great. Okay, deal.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, and that's the end, but next time we'll be here with someone else on the sofa.